There are certain ways we have been doing things all our life, and then there are alternative perspectives. At Spill the Tea, we spill those alternatives or unconventional ideas. Welcome to Spill the Tea podcast. I am BB, your host today. Wish everyone a very happy and healthy new year. Every bi weekly, we talk with awesome guests from around the world on challenging the conventional and their journey to achieve great things. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so that you get notified for every new episode. And if you enjoy the show, please give us a 5-star rating and share our podcast. Don't forget to follow our Instagram page for more content and discussion with the bigger community. Now sit back and be inspired. We have an amazing story today, all the way from the beautiful city of Surabaya, Indonesia. So without further ado, let me introduce you all to our guest today, Dr. Retno Hastijanti. Ibu Hasti, how are you doing today?
Hello, Bibi. It's great to see you. I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, let me take this honor to introduce you to our listeners. Dr. Hasti, who I will refer to as Ibu Hasti for this podcast, is an architect by profession and works with the community and the city government in the urban heritage team of Surabaya city. Her job is to preserve culture and heritage of this beautiful city, Surabaya. And she also divides her time as an academic. And what is unconventional about her story is that in this purpose or process of preserving the heritage and culture of the province, with her department, she has transformed a bigger community. And that is something which we are going to talk about today. So we'll talk about that. And without further ado, Ibu Hasti, tell us about your journey. When did you start and what do you love about your job?
Thank you, Bibi, for the opportunity. I will start with Surabaya because maybe not so many our friends know about Surabaya, but actually Surabaya is the second biggest city in Indonesia.
Wow.
And it is also become like the capital city for the part of East Indonesia. Yeah, so I think this is a modern city, but also the old city one. And between the modern building, we have the old soul. We name it Kampung, the place that the origin people of the Surabaya grew the old culture of the Surabaya city and become bigger and become the gatekeeper of the culture. So yeah, I learned about the Kampung from 1980s, yeah.
Okay.
So before start my college, I also have the passion for the Kampung, and now here I am with the passion of the urban heritage to keep in guarding the Kampung, growing between the modern city.
Wow, that's great. That's great to know, Ibu Hasti. Now, I mean, as you mentioned, Indonesia is one of the biggest countries in the world and in Southeast Asia. There are over 17,000 islands, and that's what I know. And in my research, that was very interesting. And I also came to know that there are 34 provinces. Now, you mentioned that it's the second largest city in Indonesia, Surabaya, and other than the capital city of East Java, if I may ask you, I understand that this city, this special city, is caught between modernization and the very much ethnic and the intrinsic culture of the city. So, but what is Surabaya known additionally, apart from its cultural heritage?
Yeah, actually, Surabaya also known as international city
Okay.
because in 2016, yes, 2016, we become the host of the Fred country for habitat trees. So
Wow.
the UN take the Surabaya as a place for their biggest one of the biggest event.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that if UN take a place for their event. So this is a big deal. Yeah, and
Yeah, it is.
In Indonesia, just Surabaya,
Yeah.
they choose for this event. And actually, in 2013 also, Surabaya become well known about the because we win the Townscape Award for the Bungkul Park as become the we call it the most beautiful park in Asia,
Wow.
and by the UN. And so I think from those years coming, Surabaya become well known in internationally. So this is make Surabaya become one of the what we call it the chosen for the global future cities from the UN. So we have the program for the global future cities here. Two programs. One is for the resilient master plan for the earthquake master plan, and the second is for the Surabaya Urban Transformation at Dolly.
Okay,
So,
we are going to talk about that, Ibu Hasti. So,
yeah.
I mean, just a thought crossed my mind. I was just imagining this beautiful city. I know you are a government official, well-known architect, and very passionate about your job. So, if I visit this beautiful city along with my family, will you be my host?
Oh, of course.
All right,
You're
thank you for
very
that.
welcome. We welcome you in Surabaya because after the UN event, we
Mhm.
Surabaya become like the place for learning everything, especially for kampung housing and like vernacular
Hmm.
housing.
Okay,
So we will come. I
fantastic.
will guiding you.
Thank you so much, Ibu Asti. Now, see, from all that you have explained, I do understand that your job requires you to be actively involved with the global community. We are speaking about UN and UNESCO, because the heritage part is also linked in there. Uh, it also gives you a chance to work with the community and learn about the history of the city, and that is something which I can already see, that passion in you, to preserve the history, to take the history and the culture forward with the new generation. Now, on a architectural note, can you share some of your significant projects, probably in the recent past, which has helped you to preserve the culture and take it forward?
Yes, actually not only with the UNESCO, yeah. So I more close to UN Habitat. So
Mhm.
the institute under the UN that related to the city.
Mhm.
So yeah, actually in UN Habitat we have the UNI program, University Network Initiative, and I become the one for the focal point in Indonesia, and like that. So when the UN Habitat came to Indonesia and they have the program, they choose me to become the PIC for the program. And before that, so actually I have some project for my dissertation, and we have the research for the ethnic conflict in Surabaya, in Indonesia we have a lot of ethnicity.
Ethnicity, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. And before in when the political change, and then we have like not suitable environment, then the one to another ethnicity become not so
Clash, yeah.
So we have in 2001 we have many conflict in our country, and I have the opportunity to jump to the research for these conflicts, and now from the research I have learning a lot how to manage the conflict, how to become like the facilitator, like the when we have the when we become the one that in between the conflict and etc. So
settle the difference of opinion.
Yes. And it's developed not just the ethnicity, but also in the city. In the city we have the pluralism. So between the social gap, the psychological gap. So I think this the experience to handle how manage the ethnic conflict become my foundation to preparing like master plan in Surabaya and or in other city in Indonesia to manage the space conflict in city.
Wow, awesome. Significant work, Ibu Hasti. I mean, I feel proud to know this from you. So, and our listeners back in Indonesia, whole of Indonesia and Southeast Asia will also love this. Ibu Hasti, something which you already touched, and that was the pivotal part of our discussion. That is a pivotal part of our discussion, and that's about the Dolly Lane, which was known as the red light district in Indonesia, in Surabaya. Now, transforming that was, or the process was one of your remarkable projects. We will love to know more about that. What did you do?
Yes, yeah. So I said before that because of my experience for managing the space conflict, and then I get this for my foundation to related to the transformation of Dolly. So Bibi, Dolly is like the biggest prostitution area in Indonesia and actually in Asia. when the people came to Indonesia, or we mentioned Indonesia, you know about Indonesia? Oh yeah, I know about two from Indonesia. One is Bali, and the second is Dolly. So it's become so bigger. Yes. So actually, this is become like what notorious image for Surabaya. But our mayor in 2014, name is Ibu Risma hari ini, make the big decision to close down the prostitution area. So with many like a challenge and etc. And in June 2014. The Dolly area been closed down, but since then we have like the space conflict in this area, and actually when they still in the prostitution become the prostitution area, we have two big kampung in this area, and the kampung surround is like exclude these people. So when they close down, it's like we call it become the crack community. The crack community
so left
is,
out from the community.
Yes. They exclude from the kampung surround, and the local government then make some effort at we call it like many effort to transform the community first, before the transform the place. But I think if we go with we call it love up, the philosophy from the France. He said that if you want to change the community, you have changed the place. So so we cannot depend how the community change first, then we change the place. No, we cannot like this. So
the structural part.
Yes.
Okay.
We have to simultaneously. Yes. So, but we know that the impact of this prostitution area is very large. So we have the core of the Dolly is 24 hectare. So we know that very large, and the impact is not just we not just talk about the prostitute, but we also talk about the family, the children, the disabled person, maybe the old people there. So we also have to think how the family all can be transformed to become the community that have the future, have the better future.
They have to have a source of income. When something is shutting down, then there has to be another employment source. The first thing. Okay.
Yes. But actually, when we close down, and then we become aware that 70% of the prostitute not from origin of Surabaya. So when it closed down, also Surabaya become the enemy for other city.
Okay, I can imagine.
Yes, because we settle down all the prostitute to back to their hometown, and then the mayors from the other town then called our mayor and why you close down this and etc. So we can imagine how the condition at the 2014. And actually until now, so we have more than 5 years now, 6 years. So we still struggle to transform the community, to transform the livelihood. So gladly, when in 2018, our mayor go to the World Urban Forum, which UN Habitat, and talk to the mayor forum, women mayor forum there. So talk about how the challenge to transform Dolly, and this is become the serious talk for between the government and government level, and then the UN Habitat come with the UK to they collaborate to make some program in Surabaya, especially for Dolly. That's the starting point for this project. So we now that have the background that this is a big deal. This is not just related to the Surabaya community, but also become like the become the
project for a humanity.
Yes, you're right. You're right. So so all eyes go to Surabaya, to Dolly, and and want to see how we change or transform this area. And like in 2019, before the pandemic, when we start. And we go to with the basic data, and we have the 500 the bordel house, and also minimum is we deal with 5,000 prostitutes. That I think the undercover is more bigger. So, and then we call all the data, all the We talk with the community how you want to live in the future, what do you feel, and etc. And our project, we have like the psychological team, also and economic team, so and the planning team. So I become the deputy for this project, but the team leader is still in. We work with Mott McDonald, and the team leader is in Mott McDonald, and our university become the local partner. And so we think how we can transform it, how we can, and actually I believe that from the experience with the conflict and etc., there is like the like how we call it, the soul that always the contemporary soul maybe so that can resilient. So like in my experience, this is the culture. So we dig about the history, how the landscape history of the Dolly area, and we found that in 18th century, this Dolly area is become the best area of Surabaya city.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have the physical evidence, the trace physical evidence method. We have the reconstruction, space reconstruction, and trace physical evidence, and we see that many evidence, archaeological site prove that this is the best land in best area in Surabaya. So like about the Chinese people that choose the cemetery land, they choose always the best land of their surround, and the part of the Dolly area is become the Chinese cemetery. In acting, So I think and there is the first proof, and the second proof is before it become the prostitution area, this area is become the Islamic area. One of Islamic area in Surabaya. So we proved that we found the old cemetery of the Islamic pioneer in Dolly. So this become the history that we want to tell.
And you discovered that, and you discovered that history in this process. So, Ibu Hasti, I remember you telling that space development and human development, it has to go simultaneously. And with the backing of heritage and culture, what a space was probably 100 years back, how it started, knowing that and telling people about that, you can bring that transformation within a community. So I think it's an incredible work, and that's the reason we are glad we found you, that it's not just about space development, it's much bigger, a total community development, a human development. So all kudos to you and your team. We wish you all the best in this transformation process, Ibu Hasti. My next question is, and it is something very close to Spill the Tea team, and we all are talking about it. In fact, we all are acting about it, and that's nothing other than climate change, which everyone, each and every person on this planet is facing. Now, when it comes to Indonesia as a country has faced a lot of natural calamities, still facing. However, something unique about this country is its people. Every time, they have dealt and came out very strong. Now, my question to you is, Ibu Hasti, how do you make sure that your projects reverse the impact on the climate, or probably help deal with this climate change and keeps ecological balance?
Yeah, thank you, Bibi. So from my story before that, we want to preserve this land, yeah. So because they have the story from 18th century, and then now we can like make this story become the motivator, yeah. The story for the motivator for the community to transform to the better community. So because of that, so we the consequence is we have to preserve the area, not become the modern one that then have the vertical building, the high-rise building. We preserve this as kampung, and if we preserve this as kampung, this is like the biomonitor for all the modern land in Surabaya, in West Surabaya.
Okay.
So we hope this kampung become the biomonitor and become the the factor that can control the climate change. So we in Surabaya we have like green and clean kampung program.
Wow.
That kampung become not just the house, the place for house, but the place for work. And become the place for the ecological nurture. So we in Surabaya by mayor decree, so legally, by mayor decree, the kampung is a must become the green and clean area and become the oasis from all the modern land surround. So we hope that in the future our project also become the biomonitor for all the the modern lands around. So
I totally get your point, and you guys, the planners, the architects, people who design, even before you start constructing or transforming or renovate a place, you guys who do the planning, you guys have to take into consideration every carbon footprint that you can lessen. Okay, and just as you said, the ecological balance will happen when it's a place not just for living but also for working, and it's a cycle, and so it's very great to know about this. That brings to the end of our discussion, which was a great one. My last question, which is kind of a bonus question for you, Ibu Hasti, where do you see the role of social media platforms in affecting the perception or aesthetic of a community, and how do you use social media platforms to deliver your message to the bigger community, to the younger generation, to the future generation of Indonesia?
Yeah, Bibi, I refer to your word that we are always plan something, and when this is implemented, maybe I have in that era. So maybe in 10 years, then our planning that implemented in this area in 10 years. So the other generation will take over and
the benefit.
Our planning. So how we then transfer our knowledge so the future generation have to know why they have to live in such a place. So how we can, so then we have social media now. We have media now become the catalysator, become enabler to transform our knowledge to the future generation that will live in our plan.
Okay.
So I'm glad to know that nowadays such social media become bigger and good, but we also have the heritage culture, PB. Heritage cycle.
Okay.
Heritage. So when you understand something, you will be valuing, and if you value something, you will be caring, and if you care something, you will be enjoying, and then you understand, and then you value again, and then caring again, and then enjoying again. So if our planning become or all the place become the heritage for the future generation, we hope that the heritage cycle can implement it also. So
knowing, valuing, caring
and enjoying.
and enjoying.
Because we have we have our generation, the millennial, maybe not like in our generation, but they have to learn by with enjoyable learning. So I think enjoy is very important factor.
Indeed it is, and it all starts with knowing the roots which you guys are doing, and kind of spreading your message through social media. In fact, this podcast, Ibu Hasti, when I finish this interview with you, I'll do some basic addition to this podcast, and I'll share this with you, which you can share with your community, your friends, your colleagues, and they can reshare, and more and more people will come to know about this talk. And thank you so much for your time, Ibu Hasti. It was a lovely discussion with you. Our listeners can find us on Spill the Tea Pods on Instagram. We also have a website named www.spilltheteapods.com, where we have the repository of all these beautiful talks, and Ibu Hasti, your talk will also be featured there next week. Where can our listeners find you? Would you like to share your social media, or anything where they can contact you?
Yeah, I think I still enjoying the email.
Okay, no problem. So what we'll do is we will share that when we share the podcast, so that if any of our listeners or the young generation wants to contact you and wants to know about what you do, they can freely contact you. Okay, thank you so much. You take care, and a happy new year.
Maybe my place.